Hello everyone, this is Agent Ross and welcome back to the channel. In the last episode, we gave enemies a proper death and respawn flow. Now we want defeating an enemy to actually reward the player. In this episode, we are going to add enemy loot drops. The key idea is simple. When enemy dies, it should spawn normal pickup entities in the world. That's a really nice fit for the architecture we already have, because pickups already plug into the interaction and inventory flow. So instead of building a second reward system, we will just reuse the one we already made. First, we are going to create a new component. And we are going to call this component EnemyLoot.js. Then we are going to type export class EnemyLoot extends component. It will have constructor. And inside the constructor, we're going to pass a table. Then we are going to call the super. After that, we will say this.table equals table. This.dropThisLife equals false. This component stores a loot table directly on the enemy. Each entry in the table will say which item can drop, how likely it is, and how many of that item should appear. We also store a simple dropThisLife flag, so loot only drops once per enemy dead. Next, we are going to go to the dummy factory. Inside here, we're going to import EnemyLoot. After that, we are going to scroll down. Right where we check the hostile, we are going to say world.addComponent, new EnemyLoot. And it will have a table. And inside here, we're going to say item ID is coin. Chance is 1.0. Minimum 3. Maximum 7. Then the next one will be item ID is potion. Chance is 0.35. Minimum is 1. Maximum is 1. And finally, we're going to say item ID is gem. Chance, it's going to be 0.15. And this 2 needs to be chance as well, not change. Minimum is 1 and maximum is 1. Now hostile enemies carry a small loot table. For this first version, I'm keeping it simple. Coins always drop, potions sometimes drop, gems are rarer. That already gives us a nice reward loop without turning this into a full procedural loot system yet. Next, we are going to create a new factory. Under the game folder, we are going to create a new file and we are going to call this file LootDropFactory.js. This file will import 3, transform, mesh, pickup, interactable, and name. After that, we are going to create a function by typing function, color for item, item ID. We'll have a switch case. For the first one, we're going to say coin, and it returns this color. And the second one, potion, and the third one is gem. And the default is going to be set to this color. Next, we are going to create another function by typing export, function, spawn loot pickup. It will have the world, scene, and then we'll have an object, item ID, amount is 1, x equals 0, y equals 0.25, z equals 0. Then we're going to say constant e equals world.createEntity, constant geometry equals new 3.sphereGeometry, and inside here we're going to say 0.18, 12, and 12. Constant material equals new 3.meshStandardMaterial, and inside here we're going to have the color, and we're going to set this one to color for item, and we will pass the item ID. And then we will have the emissive, and we will set this one to new 3.color 0x111111. Then we can say constant mesh equals new 3.mesh. We'll pass the geometry and material, mesh.position.set, and we'll pass the x, y, and z. Mesh.castShadow equals true. Mesh.receiveShadow equals true. Scene.add, and we'll pass the mesh. Then we can add the components by typing world.addComponent. First one is going to be transform, so we're going to say new transform, and we'll pass the x, y, and z. World.addComponent, new mesh, world.addComponent, new pickup, and it will have the item ID and amount. World.addComponent, new interactable, pickup, world.addComponent, new name, and inside here we're going to say $, item ID, x, $, amount, and finally we're going to return E. So this helper creates a normal pickup entity in the world. That's important because we are not inventing a second loot collection path here. We are simply spawning the same kind of interactable pickup that the game already understands. That means EnemyLoot automatically plugs into the existing pickup and inventory flow. Next, we are going to create a new system file, and we are going to call this file EnemyLootDropSystem.js. This file will import system, query, EnemyLoot, det, transform, spawn loot pickup. After that, we are going to create the class by typing export class EnemyLootDropSystem extends system. It will have the constructor, and we're going to pass the scene. Then we will call the super, and we will say this.scene equals scene. And then we are going to create the update function. Inside the update function, we're going to say constant enemies equals query dot entities with world EnemyLoot and transform. Then we're going to have a for loop for constant e of enemies. If it's not world dot has component that continue. Constant loot equals world dot get component EnemyLoot. Constant transform equals world dot get component transform. Then we are going to check if it's not loot or it's not transform, continue. If it's not loot dot drop this live, continue. Constant drops equals this dot underscore roll drops loot dot table. For let I equals 0, I is less than drops dot length I plus plus. Constant drops equals drops I. Constant angle equals math.pi times 2 times I divided by math.max 1 drops.length. Constant radius equals 0.45 plus I times 0.08. Constant x equals transform.x plus math.cosine angle times radius. Constant z equals transform.z plus math.sine angle times radius. Constant y equals math.max 0.25 transform.y minus 0.75. Then we are going to call the spawn loot pickup. We'll pass the world this.scene. Then inside the object, we're going to say item ID is drop.itemID. Amount is drop.amount, x, y, and z. Then after this for loop, we're going to say loot.dropThisLive equals true. And after the update function, we're going to say underscore roll drops. We'll pass the table. And inside this function, we're going to say constant result equals empty for constant entry of table. Constant chance equals entry.chance question marks 1. If math.random is greater than chance, continue. Constant mean equals entry.mean question marks 1. Constant max equals entry.max question marks mean. Constant amount equals this dot underscore rand int mean and max. If amount is less than or equals to 0, continue. Result dot push item ID is entry dot item ID, and then we'll pass the amount. And finally, we're gonna return the result. And next, we are gonna create the rand int function. So for that, we're gonna say underscore rand int. We'll have the mean and max. Constant low equals math.mean. We'll pass the mean and max. Constant high equals math.max. We'll pass the mean and max. Return math.floor, math.random times high minus low plus 1 and then plus low. So this system keeps the logic very simple. It looks for enemies that have an enemy component, are marked dead, and have not dropped loot yet during this live. Then it rolls the table, spawns pickup entities around the corpse, and marks the drops as completed. So loot is spawned from component state, not from a special one-off script. Next, we are going to go to enemy response system. Inside here, we're going to import EnemyLoot. Then we are going to scroll down. Right inside here, we're going to say constant EnemyLoot equals world.getComponent EnemyLoot. If EnemyLoot, EnemyLoot.dropThisLive equals false. And the rest is going to stay the same. This is what closes the loop. When the enemy comes back to life, it becomes eligible to drop loot again on its next death. Without this reset, the first kill would work, but every later kill would stay empty. Next, we are going to go to main.js. Inside here, we're going to import EnemyLootDropSystem. Then we are going to scroll down. Right here after the dead system, we're going to say world.addSystem, new EnemyLootDropSystem, and we're going to pass the scene. This order makes sure the loot system sees enemies after they actually become dead. That means the drop happens once at the right moment, and then the enemy's later respawn logic can run independently. This episode does not need any CSS changes. The drop loot is rendered as world meshes and uses existing interaction flow. When the player interacts with the pickup, the current interaction system already marks it collected, hides the mesh, and emits the inventory pickup event with item ID and amount. This is why the future stays clean. We are not adding a new inventory UI path or custom loot window yet. We are just reusing the pickup architecture the project already has. That's exactly the kind of reuse we want in an ECS project. Now let's go ahead and test it. I'm going to make the game screen bigger. Let's go ahead and kill the hostile dummy. And the game is frozen. Let's look at the console. It says uncaught reference error. Cannot access drops before initializing. It's at EnemyLootDropSystem update function and the line is 29. Alright, we say it here, drops, it needs to be drop. And then in here, item ID, it needs to be drop as well. And same with this one, drop. The rest is gonna stay the same. So let's go ahead and save it. Let's go back to the game and close the console. We are gonna go ahead and test it again. Enemy died and we got 2 drops. So the first one is blue. So let's pick that up. It's 1 coin. And the second one is another coin. Let's go ahead and kill the enemy again. We got 2 drops again. One is blue and the other one is yellow. So let's pick up the blue. It's 1 coin. And pick up the other one. And this one is another coin as well. And looks like we have some issues with our drop chance logic. Let's go back to our Visual Studio. Inside LootDropFactory, we're going to scroll down and let's have a look here. And where we set the new pickup item, we're actually going to pass an object because our pickup.js is expecting a single object. So instead of this, what we're going to say, object, item ID, amount, and let's go ahead and save it. We are going to go back to game and test it again. And let's go ahead and kill the enemy. We have 2 items drop. Let's pick up the first one. It's +1 health potion. Now we have 4. And pick up the other one. +5 coins. And let's go ahead and kill the hostile dummy again. We have coin drop. Let's pick it up. +5 coin. And let's test a few more times. +1 health potion. +4 coins. Health potion. +5 coins. Four coins. Another 4 coins. And +1 gemstone. another 4 coins. And let's use our health potion. And we can see the loot in our inventory. So we have 1 gem, 31 coins, and 4 health potions so far. And this time we got plus 7 coins. And let's test one more time. Plus 4 coins. And let's kill the other dummy as well to make sure they don't drop anything. And nothing dropped there. And that's episode 38. Enemies now drop real loot into the world when they die. And those drops flow through the same pickup and inventory systems the game already uses. That means combat now fits directly into progression, which is a huge step toward a real RPG game loop. In the next episode, we can improve this better. We can add better item quality and rarity, so those loot drops start feeling more interesting instead of purely functional. If this was helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm Agent Ross. See you next time.